Shabbat Shalom, everyone. My name's Daniel, and I'm the Vegan Nazarite. Well, we're starting in the winter. The year of the nations, should I say, is almost done. And we're going to be going into 2026 very soon. Actually, next Shabbat, I think we're going to be in 2026. Yeah, looks like it. So on that account, if you I want to wish everybody a good new year full of revelations from the Most High Elohim, because that's really the only thing that's important, is to know God laws, statutes, and ordinances so that we can have a blessed life. God tells us time and time again in the Torah that we are blessed by doing his commands, and we just may be cursed by not doing them. So that's the truth, folks. There is no other way to say it. That's the way it is. That's how God ordained his people to be. And if we're going to be a peculiar people, as the Torah says, the only way to do that is to do the peculiar things that God tells us to do. So on that note, today's Torah readings is going to be Hukkat. And again, if I said that wrong, I apologize again. I'm French Canadian, and I'd really love to learn Hebrew one day, but I'm not there yet. And Hukkat is going to be Numbers 19:1 to 22:1, and the prophets today is Judges 11:1 to verse 33. So on that note, let's start. I'm just going to go in the chat and put in the first Shalom. Put in the first Shabbat Shalom. And yes, I realized that if you're watching different parts of the world, namely Israel, the Shabbats are probably already over there. But here in North America, it's still it's about midday. So still lots of, at least in the wintertime, we got maybe 5-6 hours left of sunlight. And we all know that the biblical days run from sunset to sunset. So it's still Shabbat here. And let me just change this so that I can just keep an eye on the chat while I... And by the way, I'm still getting used to all this stuff. So don't feel bad if you chat and I miss a chat. It's because I'm not seeing the whole picture, so to speak, and I might miss the odd chat here and there. Okay, so Numbers chapter 19. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, This is a statute of the law which the Lord hath commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring a red heifer, faultless, wherein there is no blemish, and upon which never came a yoke. And you shall give her unto Eleazar the priest, and she shall be brought forth without the camp, and she shall be slain before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his fingers, and sprinkle of her blood towards the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. And the heifer shall be burnt and the heifer shall be burnt. Just highlighting something here. In his sight, her skin, her flesh, and her blood, with her dung, shall be burnt. And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet, and cast it into the midst of the burning heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards he may come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the even. He that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water, and bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean until the even. And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, lay them up without the camp in a clean place, and it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a water of sprinkling. It is a purification from sin. He that gathereth the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. And it shall be unto the children of Israel, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among them, a statute forever. He that toucheth the dead, even any man's dead body, shall be unclean 7 days. The same shall purify himself therewith on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day and the 7th day, he shall not be clean. Whosoever touches the dead, even the body of any man that is dead, and purifieth not himself, he hath defiled the tabernacle of the Lord. That soul should be cut off from Israel, because the water of sprinkling would not dash against him. He shall be unclean. His uncleanliness is yet upon him. This is the law. When a man dieth in a tent, every one that cometh into the tent, and everything that is into the tent, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which hath no covering, close bound upon it, is unclean. And whosoever in the open field toucheth one that is slain with a sword, or one that dieth of himself, or the bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. And for the unclean they shall take the ashes of the burning of the purification from sin, and running water shall be put thereto in a vessel. And a clean person shall take hyssop, and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon the vessels, and upon the persons that were there, and upon him that toucheth the bone, or the slain, or the dead, or the grave. And the clean person shall sprinkle upon the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day. And on the 7th day he shall purify him, and he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and he shall be unclean at even. But the man that shall be unclean, and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from the midst of the assembly, because he hath defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water of sprinkling hath not been dashed against him. He is unclean. And it shall be a perpetual statute unto them. He that sprinkleth the water of sprinkling shall wash his clothes, and he that toucheth the water of sprinkling shall be unclean till even. And whatsoever toucheth the unclean person, whatsoever toucheth the unclean person, toucheth shall be unclean, and the soul that toucheth him shall be unclean until even. And the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Zin in the 1st month. And the people abode in Kadesh. And Miriam died there, and was buried there. And there was no water for the congregation. And they assembled themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people strove with Moses and spoke, saying, What would we had perished when our brethren perished before the Lord? And why have you brought this assembly of the Lord onto this wilderness to die here, we and our cattle? And wherefore have you made us come up out of Egypt to bring us unto this evil place? It is no place of seed, or figs, or vines, or pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tent of meeting, and fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Take the rod, and assemble the congregation, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, that it give forth its water. And thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock, so thou shalt give the congregation and the cattle to drink. And Moses took the rod from before the Lord, as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock, and he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels, are we to bring you forth water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand and smote the rock with his rod twice, and water came forth abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their cattle. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, Because you believe not in me to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. These are the waters of Meribah, where the children of Israel strove with the Lord, and he was sanctified in them. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the kings of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, Thou knowest all the travails that have befallen us, how our fathers went down into Egypt and dwelt in the land of Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians dealt ill with us and our fathers. And when we cried unto the Lord, he heard our voice and sent an angel and brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of thy border. Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy land. We will not pass through field or vineyard, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go along the king's highway. We will not turn aside to the right hand or to the left until we have passed thy border. And Edom said unto him, Thou shalt not pass through me, lest I come out with the sword against thee. And the children of Israel said unto him, We will go up by the highway, and if we drink of thy water and my cattle, then I will give the price thereof. Let me only pass through on my feet. There is no hurt. And he said, Thou shalt not pass through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border. Wherefore Israel turned away from him. And they journeyed from Kadesh, and the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, came unto Mount Hor. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor by the border of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given unto the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them onto Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron shall die, and Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, and shall die there. And Moses did as the Lord commanded. And they went up into the Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. And Moses stripped Aaron of his garments, put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron died there in the top of the mount. And Moses and Eleazar came down from the mount. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they wept for Aaron 30 days, even all the house of Israel. Chapter 21. And the Canaanite, the king of Arad, who dwelt in the south, heard that Israel came by the way of Atharim, and he fought against Israel and took some of them captive. And Israel vowed a vow unto the Lord and said, if thou wilt indeed deliver this people unto my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. And the Lord hearkened unto the voice of Israel and delivered up unto the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities, and the name of the place was called Hormoth. And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom, and the soul of the people became impatient because of the way. And the people spoke against God and against Moses. Excuse me. Wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, and there is no water, and our soul loath this light bread. And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. And the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned because we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that every one that is bitten, when he seeth, he shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass, and set it upon the pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, then he looked upon the serpent of brass, he lived. And the children of Israel journeyed and pitched in Oboth. And they journeyed from Oboth and pitched at Abarim in the wilderness, which is in the front of Moab, towards the sun rising. From thence they journeyed and pitched on the other side of the Arnon, which is in the wilderness, that cometh out of the border of the Amorites. For Arnon is a border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of the Lord, Vaheb in Sulfa. And the valleys of Arnon, and the slope of the valleys that inclineth towards the seat of Ar, and leaning upon the borders of Moab, and from thence to Beer, that is the well, whereof the Lord said unto Moses, gather the people together, and I will give them water. Then Israel sang the song, spring up, O well, sing ye unto it, the well which the princes dig, which the nobles of the people delved, with the scepter and with their staves, from the wilderness to Mattada, and from Mattada to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth to the valley that is in the field of Moab, by the top of Pisgah, which looketh down upon the desert. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, the king of the Amorites, saying, let me pass through thy land. We will not turn aside into field or into vineyard. We will not drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway until we have passed thy border. And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his border. But Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel in the wilderness and came to Jahaz. And he fought against Israel. And Israel smote him with the edge of the sword, and possessed his land from Arnon unto the Jabbok, even unto the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was strong. And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all the towns thereof. For Heshbon was a city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and had taken all his land out of his hand, even unto the Arnon. Wherefore they that speak in parables say, come ye to Heshbon, let the city of Sihon be built and established, for a fire is gone out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. If hath delivered Ar of Moab, the lords of the high places of Arnon. Woe to thee, Moab! Thou art undone, O people of Chemosh. He hath given his sons as fugitive, and his daughters into captivity, unto Sihon, king of the Amorites. We have shot at them. Heshbon is perished, even unto Dibon. Now we have laid waste even unto Norphah, which reacheth unto Medeba. Thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites. And Moses sent spy out to Jazer, and they took the towns thereof, and drove out the Amorites that were there. And they turned and went up by the way of Bashan. And Og, the king of Bashan, went out against them, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. And the Lord said unto Moses, Fear him not, for I have delivered him unto thy hand, and all his people, and his land shall do to him as you did with Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon. So they smote him and his sons and all his people until there was none left him remaining, and they possessed his land. Chapter 22. And the children of Israel journeyed and pitched in the plains of Moab beyond the Jordan at Jericho. And that is the Torah reading for today. I'm just going to go back and share a few verses that I highlighted. Okay, so I'm going to start with chapter 19, verse 3. And you shall give unto her Eleazar the priest, and she shall be brought forth without the camp, and shall be slain before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle of her the blood towards the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. So here we read about the red heifer. And the red heifer is probably the most important sacrifice in the Torah. I say probably because I'm still learning the Torah, and I don't have it all completely in my mind yet. But essentially, without the red heifer, it's impossible to be ritually clean. And so by not having the tabernacle today or the temple, basically everybody is considered unclean, because the only way to be cleaned, especially from death, we read that a little later on. Let me see if I can get there. We read a little later on that it's a statute forever that anybody who is exposed to somebody who died in a tent or touches any part of a dead body is considered unclean. And to be considered clean again, the Israelite had to go and get sprinkled by the water of purification, which was basically just water from a stream that had some ashes of the red heifer mixed in it. And basically that is what made a person clean again, by touching, by getting sprinkled twice on the 3rd and the 7th day. The person is kind of considered clean again. And I'll just go up to verse 14. This is the law. When a man dieth in a tent, everyone that cometh into the tent and everything that is in it the tent shall be unclean 7 days. So, so without the ashes of the red heifer, there's no way to be clean. And that includes any Israelite, whether he's a Levite, whether he's of any of the other tribes, it doesn't matter. Everybody is unclean. So we can actually say that since the days that the temple has been destroyed, everybody is unclean, whether you're that native-born Israelite or whether you're from the nations. It doesn't matter. We're all unclean. So that's why it's so important. The red heifer is so important. There's a lot of talk and a lot of rumors of late of rebuilding the temple of in Israel and of starting the sacrificial system again. And for anyone to be able to do that, well, first a Levite has to be clean. So that's why the red heifer is so important. Without the red heifer, the temple, the people are still unclean. The temple cannot be purified or anything else. So that's why the red heifer is so important. And you might, if you're into prophecies and if you're into some of those prophetic texts that say that the we can go back to Yeshua, which he said that at one point there's going to be a repeat of the temple being, how do we say that, being defiled by unclean animals. Maybe they were sacrificed, maybe they weren't. But the only way so for the temple to be started again, the red heifer has to be, the red heifer sacrifice has to be done. I'm going to move on to verse 15. Verse 16, and whosoever in the open field toucheth one that is slain with a sword, or one that dieth of himself, or the bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. So when I read this verse, makes me wonder a little bit about Samson, which was a Nazirite. And apparently Samson killed a lot of people. So was he unclean? Did he do some kind of a rite of purification? And did he, as a Nazirite, we are not allowed to touch a dead body. And a Nazirite, we could argue, is a little bit more strict in the sense that the Levites were able to touch the dead body of a family member if they so wished it, but a Nazirite is not. So makes me wonder a little bit. Either Samson did the rite of purification quite often in his time, because we know that we read from the scriptures that he was quite the warrior. So it makes me wonder a little bit how he got away with that. And again, if you're a Nazirite or something like that, or even a Levite, I'd be curious to know how we can make sure that verse is honored. And the other one that I see, so we read also in verse 21, I'll do 20 and 21. But the man that shall be unclean and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from the midst of the assembly, because he hath defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water of the sprinkling has not been dashed against him. He is unclean. And it shall be a perpetual statute unto them. He that sprinkleth the water of sprinkling shall wash his clothes, and he that toucheth the water of sprinkling shall be unclean until even. So these clean and unclean principles are basically forever laws. So again, that stresses the importance of the water of sprinkling. Without it, basically everybody is unclean. Let me see if I've got any more highlights in the Torah. And again, we read again in Numbers 20 of a bunch of the Israelites dying by the serpents. And the only way they could get healed of the serpent was by looking at this standard, which was a brass serpent on a spear, or on a the words escaping, on a stave, or a rod. So again, the Israelites are complaining all the time. Wow. How many signs and wonders did some Israelites see, and they were still in disbelief? Reminds me a little bit about the parable of Lazarus and the rich man that Yeshua teaches, where Yeshua says that God already gave many signs and wonders to the 12 tribes of Israel, and even those Israelites failed to believe. So looks like we as men, or humans, it's probably a better word, have a tendency of repeating our same mistakes over and over and over again. Seems like it doesn't matter how many prophets God sends. It doesn't matter how many times that God lays down the law. There's still some that are going to have a hard heart. We read Ezekiel's calls it a heart of stone. And instead, we need to ask God for the heart of flesh, the one that actually accepts the laws of the Most High Elohim. So that's my commentary on the Torah today. Let's move on to Judges 11:1. And let me just open up bookmarks here. Judges. And we're going to go to 11:1, and we're going to be reading 1 to 33. Now, Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor. He was the son of a harlot, and Gilead begot Japhet. And Gilead's wife bore him sons. And when his wife's sons grew up, they drove out Jephthah and said unto him, Thou shalt not inherit in our father's house, for thou art the son of another woman. Then Jephthah fled from his brethren and dwelt in the land of Tob. And there were gathered vain fellows to Jephthah, and they went out with him. And it came to pass after a while that the children of Ammon Um, Children of Ammon made war against Israel, and it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob. And they said unto Jephthah, Come and be our chief, that we may fight with the children of Ammon. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, Do not ye hate me and drive me out of my father's house? And why are you come out to me when you are in distress? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, Therefore are we returned to thee now with the children of Ammon, and thou shalt be our head all over. Therefore are we returned to thee now, that thou mayest go with us and fight with the children of Ammon, and thou shalt be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, If you bring me back home to fight with the children of Ammon, and the Lord delivered them from before me, I will be your head. And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, The Lord shall be witness between us. Surely according to thy words, so we will do. Then Jephthah went out with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and chief over them. And Jephthah spoke all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, What hast thou to do with me, that thou art come unto me to fight against my land? And the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Jephthah, Because Israel took away my land when he came out of Egypt, from the Arnon even unto the Jabbok, and even unto the Jordan. Now therefore restore these cities peaceably. And Jephthah sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon, and said unto him, Thus saith Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when they came up from Egypt, and Israel walked through the wilderness unto the Red Sea, and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers unto the king of Edom, saying, Let me, I pray thee, pass through thy land. But the king of Edom hearkened not. And in like manner he sent unto the king of Moab, but he would not. And Israel abode in Kadesh. And then he walked through the wilderness, and compassed the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came by the east side of the land of Moab, and there they pitched the other side of Arnon. But they came not within the border of Moab, for the Arnon was on the border of Moab. And Israel sent messengers on Sihon, the king of the Amorites, the king of Heshbon. And Israel said unto him, Let us pass, we pray thee, through the land unto my place. But Sihon trusted not Israel to pass through his border, but Sihon gathered all his people together and pitched in Jahaz and fought against Israel. And the Lord, the God of Israel, delivered Sihon and all his people into the hands of Israel. And they smote them, so Israel possessed all the land of the Amorites, the inhabitants of that country. And they possessed all the border of the Amorites, from the Arnon onto the Jabbok, from the wilderness onto the Jordan. So now the Lord, the God of Israel, has disposed the Amorites from before his people Israel. And shouldest thou possess them? Will not thou possess which Chemosh thy God giveth thee to possess? So whomsoever the Lord our God hath disposed from before us, them we will possess. And now art thou anything better than Balak the son of Zippor, the king of Moab? Did he ever strive against Israel, or did he ever fight against them? While Israel dwelt in Heshbon, in its towns, and in Aroer and its towns, and in the cities that are along by the side of Arnon, 300 years. Wherefore did ye not recover them within that time? I therefore have not sinned against thee, but thou doest me wrong to war against me. The Lord, the judge, be judge this day between the children of Israel and the children of Ammon. Howbeit the the king of the children of Ammon hearkened not unto the words of Jephthah, which had sent him. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpeh of Gilead. And from Mizpeh of Gilead he passed over unto the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, If thou wilt indeed deliver the children of Ammon into my hand, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth to the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace for the children of Ammon, it shall be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. So Jephthah passed over unto the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hand. And he smote them from Aror until thou cometh to Minnith, even 20 cities, and unto Abel Cheramim, with a very great slaughter. So the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. Okay, so in this passage of Judges, we basically see that God delivers again twice, because in the Torah we read that the children of Israel asked for a rite of passage into both the lands, and they were refused, and they were instead met with the sword. So God delivers them in the Torah, and I'm not sure how many years later, we see one of the kings basically wants to take revenge on Israel because they took the land. And Jephthah basically says, no, we did not take your land by force. You refused us back when we were coming out from Egypt, and instead made war with us, and this is how we won your lands. So, and God, basically Jephthah says to the king, the opposing king, we didn't do anything wrong. You guys made war against us. So we were defending, and we won your lands fair and square, when all we asked was to just walk through. So, so we see here that some of the nations were quite bitter from losing some of their lands, and even after, I don't know, maybe a few hundred years, they still had a grudge against the Israelites. And God again sends a judge, in this case Jephthah, and they win again. They basically keep their lands all over. So there we go. That was our Torah reading for today. I'm going to end this with since it's, I know it's not the biblical year, but we kind of had a little tradition in my family as French Canadians to bless our family on the new year. So Yeshua teaches us that whoever does and keeps the commandments of the Most High are his family. So if you consider yourself a doer of the Torah, well then, I'm going to give you a blessing. And this is a blessing from one of my favorite places in the Bible. It's the Aaronic blessing from Numbers 6:24 to 6:26. The Lord bless thee, the Lord keep thee, the Lord make his face shine upon thee and be graceful unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give you peace. Peace, peace and joy in the Spirit. It should really be every Torah believer and follower of Yeshua. goal in life. There's no point in wishing for gold and silver and all these things. God tells us that our gifts as Israelites and as followers of Yeshua is basically joy and peace in the spirit. So there you go. I wish you lots of joy and lots of peace in the spirit from the Most High Elohim. Again, my name's Daniel, and I'm the Vegan Nazarite, signing off for the last time in 2025.